Okay.
I know nothing about the DQ11 cast, so I'm sure there are ways to build them entertainingly.
Yes.
Good.
Anyway, last time. Old man saves the village.
He's like 35.
He's anime 60.
The only incidentally, so he's Cyan, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Although Cyan is actually 50.
Also, there is an actual 65-year-old in that game.
Yeah, no, much older than that.
Oh my god,
Strago's
really?
like 70 or 70.
70 or 80. Anyway.
Strago
God,
is
I was
ancient.
lowballing it.
As it turns out, the old men in that game aren't anime. They're just old.
They are actually old.
Chapter
and
2.
It makes sense.
Hey, I know 2 of those people.
Yes, yes. Welcome to the best main character. No, that's not true. Welcome to the second best main character.
Saravina.
Sarevna.
I keep adding that extra E in there, and I gotta stop that.
Sar Stefan.
Or, as Didenga's stream described her, a Russian punch wizard.
Yes. Hey, stop getting ahead of the game.
Oh, come on. You know where this is going.
Yeah, I know. She has a rad hat. It makes no sense for how her fighting style works, but she has a rad hat.
She has an incredible hat. Also,
I hear from old Boria you are desiring to the journey. Yoink, this cannot occur. You are a lady.
This bit is going places, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm dying already. Oh, I can't even look at this dialogue.
Endanger merely for to challenge abilities.
No. Why did I look at the screen?
I love the some castle and everyone who lives in it.
Okay, I think I'm alright.
All right, let's
I like the way they're going with it is that you are desperately trying to parse it as a normal sentence, and then it just sucker punches you out of nowhere.
This is. I have actually looked this up. They did a very good job with the Russian stuff in this. This is how this works.
Also, Elena has a very strong character portrait. Giving her stats the side eye.
So
she has a very strong front sprite, if we're being honest.
Oh yeah.
So you're joining me because you were on the chapter.
Yeah, it's Boria.
Boria!
I might call Boria Bray at some point because that's what his name was in the NES. I am sorry in advance.
Your poor extinct mother.
Okay, I'm gonna just lay it on the table, folks. For the past, ever since Newbie told me he was gonna do this, I have been waiting for this chapter. Just for this stupid castle, because I remembered some stuff.
How can I, your tutor, display my face to the Tsar if you would behave with such manner?
We here at Newbie Stream apologize for any kind of insults we have made to the Russian people, but at the same time, come on.
Zarvina's face looks like how I feel.
Okay.
Alright, you found it. Good. Welcome to a really good piece of equipment.
Okay, I've
You've recentered yourself? I don't think the rest of us have.
Yeah, I can hear. I recuperate your wall.
No, I'm still good. I will not be destroyed by this.
Are you sure?
I will break you again.
What about this one?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so when are we gonna go fight Lord Fawful?
You know, I kind of expected it this rate.
Oh yeah, that's very good.
Yes, that piece of equipment is feathered hats are ladies only, by the way.
Okay.
Apparently, men are just not allowed to wear wings on their heads in Dragon Quest IV.
Which is weird because in later games there are characters that wear feathered hats that are dudes. It's like, all right, we're sorry, okay? You can wear it. We're sorry.
Oh yeah. They repealed that regulation in between games.
Let me into the party room.
Once again, you would die.
You do not have step guard.
Hello, Kirill.
AKA Christo.
I hear words from Boria.
You have aspiration to voyage.
Thank you for the resub.
I implore that your mind is changed. No!
We're not going to get over this for a while, so if you have issues with this, and I wouldn't blame you.
It's a lot more subdued.
So, the most I know about that guy
Yes?
is from a clip I've seen of
Yup.
Dragon Quest
We'll get there.
Heroes.
Yep.
We'll
So
get
his
there.
That clip is fantastic.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll
That's
get
all
there.
I'll say. We'll get there. Whoa! The power of the 3DS. I gotta make sure I'm not capping my CPU there. Nope, that's just the game. That's emulation.
Yeah, that's the game. There's too many people on the screen. But keep talking. Keep talking to people. Good things will happen.
I know
This is a
Square,
urine.
I am so
I know
empty.
Square RPG's had this problem a lot.
I hope the time is not lingering until next nourishment.
Good mimic pod. This castle, man.
And then this guy who just doesn't have an accent because he's a traveling salesman.
Very much has like a working.
Yeah, well, as much of an accent. Let me rephrase that.
He's not that good with the way of words. You don't say.
He hardly has a good way.
One medical herb. Okay, someone said cacao chocolate. I had to do the count instead.
Ma'am, I don't think that means what you think it does.
Hey, you know, it'd be really great if the item dialogue was actually in the same regional dialect.
I know.
I would.
There have
be
been games
destroyed.
that have done that.
That might actually destroy me.
Oh, Lord. Here we go. Oh!
Yep. Chuggin'.
That figure does actually look fantastic.
I think I talked to everyone.
Well, continued exploring the castle. Perhaps some things have changed.
Yeah. A means of egress may present itself.
Yep.
Oh. I got it.
Here in Castle Zamovska.
We might be able to defenestrate ourselves.
Defenestrate is such for it.
That's exactly what it is.
Through the power of the
Objection.
third dimension.
It was a window.
Defenestrate.
Means something very different.
Yeah, no. Defenestrate implies that there was a window. There's
I
no
thought there
evidence
was a
to
window
be
there.
This is just a hole in the wall.
No,
Oh, she just kicked a hole in the wall.
She just kicked
Fair
a hole
enough.
in the wall.
And yes, Elena's yeah, the cat's getting accented. Meow.
God.
Wait, hold up. I missed that. Meow. Oh,
Sarevna, Elena, bring down this wall. Anyhow, now that we've
Hey guys! Here's Chapter 2's gimmick. Party mechanics.
Boria just silently turns to
Lonesome.
Kirill and hands him 5 gold.
Kirill, we gotta go rescue the princess. What? What do you mean? I'm pretty sure she can take care of herself. Just roll with it, man. It's fine.
Rescue is a relative term. We're rescuing her from herself.
Okay. Newbie, what do you think these 3 people are in terms of classes?
well. I say the old man is a wizard of some sort, and
Shocking.
based off of like what I know, thanks to that clip. Middleman is more or less more what the like your standard Dragon Quest main character is, like melee person but has magic.
Okay.
And I already know the front person is a punch.
She's a monk. Or a fighter in terms of the older things.
Yeah.
Middle boy there is a priest, actually.
Yeah, okay. And old man has 0 spells, actually.
No, he has 0 non-combat spells.
Oh, he's offensive. I got it.
But if you go to his status menu...
Okay, here we go. Heal, and he has crack. Okay. Crack being the ice spell.
Yes, he has the basic crack ice spell, which is slightly better than the frizz spell to start.
Fire spell.
All right,
but
so
he is more expensive.
Yeah, punch healer.
And in fact, his class is given as priest. I believe it was.
In the original game, it was Chancellor, because he can't be a priest. That goes against religious things that we're not allowed to have.
That was against Nintendo of America's.
Yeah, Nintendo of America being Nintendo of America.
But yes, he is.
I see the Fire Emblem 9 fart trumpets have found their way into this game.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
At a certain point in the original NES game, Kirill's AI had a moment and never stopped.
Again, we're gonna get there.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, plain clothes. He's wearing something. I'm like, are you? You have
so this
zero
this
armor?
chapter is teaching you not only how party mechanics work, but also the hand-me-down method works.
Yeah, buy stuff for your higher people, and then
buy stuff for that, the highest level stuff that someone can wear, give them that, and then give their stuff to the person underneath them, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Although, it's important to note that while it's convenient mostly for this party, it won't always be the case. Borio will eventually stop being able to wear everything pretty quickly.
Yep.
Kirill and Elena will stay in lockstep for considerably more time, but their equipment sets will diverge.
He will eventually wear armor.
People will eventually wear different kinds of armor. Just about everybody can wear, like, basic leather. There are only a couple people that can't. So, at this point, everyone can, like, use different armor sets as you go along, or the same armor as you go along, and just do pass down.
Yeah, like, that's what I was wondering about, because a lot of the designs of the initial equipment just looked very class diverse.
Again, a lot of the early game equipment makes sense that just about everybody can use it. Like, one of the pieces of equipment was called a divine dagger. Just about everybody can use a dagger. But not everyone's going to be able to use that cautery sword that Ragnar's wielding at this point. That's a big honkin' broadsword.
Welcome to Zelenagrad.
Yes, Ragnar is also an absolute unit. He's trained to use heavy weapons and armor, but he needs to make up for his deficiencies.
Yes, he has no magic of any kind. So
also, he doesn't have things that are not strength and health.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, can I destroy those pots? Are those pots I can destroy? No. Joseph Starling.
Joseph.
It's Joseph Starling.
I like mine more.
Well,
definitely not a tasteless pun of something.
You're here. Wait. Ah, right, weapon shop. Okay.
I'm actually just waiting in seething curiosity to see what localized version of Arf or something similar the dog is going to
So
say.
you can save up her divine dagger for a bunch of people, but you could also just buy a club for your main character right now.
Yeah.
Wait, I legitimately thought she was a monk.
She is, but she can use some basic equipment early on before you get to the monk equipment, so that she's not just punching the whole time.
Okay, there's glove.
They learned from the previous game. In the previous game, there was a fighter class, but they could only use 2 weapons without taking a strength penalty. So early on, they were just punching things for a while. But in this game, they're like, okay, we need to give them some basic equipment that she can use until you get to the monk gear. So she can use a club, she can use a divine dagger, she can use a couple other things until you get there. But after that, it's monk gear all the time.
It's claws all the time.
Probably also sit on my seats a little bit until characters become a bit more diverse and I can figure out who needs what.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So it's already at least marginally clear what characters are specializing in mostly.
Did you give her the club? Equip it?
Yeah,
Okay.
should have. I'll double check.
I wasn't paying attention. It might have
Yeah, she's got
auto-equipped when you bought it.
Yeah, you can do that.
It gives you the
Yeah.
option. It doesn't necessarily.
Also, you're right. Gov.
Yep. I love this dumb game.
So I'm waiting for y'all to get over to Southern Land at some point and just have the cats start mewling like y'all.
Oh yeah, you noticed that too? How the world map looks?
No.
It's okay, when you go outside, you'll see it.
Oh no. How can I get that chest, dog?
Nope.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Yo, what's in the box?
Yes, we'll never know.
Is that a house over there?
Oh, you also cannot get there just yet.
Man.
Maybe. I forget.
Yeah, because I probably need to go in, cross over to the other roof.
Yeah, then you don't have the key that allows you to access that.
Yeah. If there's one thing I know about Giant Quests, keys.
They're important.
Yeah, so we're on a very different part of the world.
Yes.
Yep. Meanwhile, over there.
Alright, you're back to using a level 1 party. But now there's 3 of them.
How much? Old Man doesn't have that much MP.
No.
You
He will
save his
save-
MP for things that are actually dangerous, which
But
is
you
not a
can get
walking
the
stick.
Like,
Also known as what's worse than a slime? That thing. Hello.
You've been awfully silent this whole time, Adriana.
I think Argona ditched.
Oh no.
No, I'm here. I just haven't had much to say.
That's fair.
And I'm just sort of like taking it all in because
Yeah.
I don't have a basis to go off of.
That's fair enough.
Like,
I
you
mean,
have
I
been
forgot
talking a
to
lot
mention
on like,
this.
history and stuff, and I really just don't have any of that.
I
That's
forgot
much-
to mention it. That chicken that you were fighting in the rooster, really, you were fighting in the previous chapter.
Mhm.
It would put you to sleep from time to time.
Ah,
So
playing
annoying.
against Rooster type. But yeah, and I mean it's fair that you don't have like a lot of context or anything, but I think a whatchamacallit, a totally new reaction might have some value just in terms of
That's all right. Speak up when you feel comfortable with it.
Yeah.
well, this is a
wait,
situation.
could you please read that sign again when you have a moment?
When we get, we'll head back to it. Yeah, not a bad idea to start using some magic on enemies that can take a hit.
Also gives me a basis for about how much damage he does with that magic.
About 10. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, but about 10 is a good average for him.
There we go. That's what I was fishing for.
Oh.
Levels. It's the early game. You'll level up pretty quickly, which
That's
is good because you kind of need the stats.
Strength and wisdom pretty even. And Old Man did not level. What?
Everyone levels at a different pace.
Ah.
Ragnar in the previous chapter is the second or third fastest person to level. Right behind him comes Helena. Kirill's about middle of the pack, and Boria is one of the slower ones.
If I remember correctly, generally the way it is, casters level slower in Dragon Quest, but I could be mistaken.
That is not always the case, and I will talk about that when we get to that character.
Right.
Some characters are different.
I'm working off of like a subset here. So like for
Yes.
example, Jessica in Dragon Quest 8 levels noticeably slower enough that like she's frequently one level desynced from the party.
There's also another reason why she gets desynced, but again,
Yes, there is.
that's
But
8.
I wasn't talking about that. But like even when that's not the case, she will be desynced sometimes.
One nice thing about the early game in Chapter 2 here is Boria actually has an HP growth. In the original game, it was not unreasonable for him to gain no health for the first 3 or 4 levels.
Nice.
Yep.
Mhm.
Oh, that's exactly what I want with my fragile wizard is
They
0
species
HP.
pretty hard.
They've normalized out the growth curve for most characters. Some characters actually got a little bit of a buff, but for the most part, rather than it being a much higher variance that eventually evens out, it's just a steady stream as they go up.
They reduced the variance and kept the mean the same.
Like Ragnar in the previous chapter, when you got to like level 11 or 12, which is when stat gains start to pick up a little bit, it would not be unreasonable to see him gain like 20 HP.
Yeah.
Rather than that happen, they just made him gain a little bit more in the earlier levels, so he was getting like 6, 8, and 10 HP much faster, and he's not going to gain the ridiculous 20 health in some levels.
So
And
most of what I've been seeing for these Dragon Quest games is that mechanically they can stand out, but the plots seem to just be like different variations on the same core concept of hero goes to fight the Demon King or whatever.
So, yes, to a point, and that point is the end of this game. And one of the reasons that I continually sort of rant and rave about Dragon Quest V off camera is that, like, while hero goes to fight the big bad is an element of that game's plot, it's by far not the, like, predominant one. The huge majority of what you do in that game has fuck all to do.
You get there because of, well,
Other
the plot.
reasons.
Yeah, but it is not the core mechanic of the game. Like from the beginning, you're like, man, I gotta go kill the Demon King and do that. You're doing other stuff.
Like in the first town, your character's motivation is, I want to save this cat, so I'm going to go on a micro adventure with this girl to a haunted mansion.
And that kind
That's
of
the first dungeon.
feels, oh, I can walk on that. Oh, no.
Hello. Now you might want to start using some ice spells on these things.
Oh my!
Well,
You were saying, Crumb?
Well, that was me. But,
Oh, right, sorry.
like, again, I played through a majority of 11, and yeah, 11 kind of does have this big overarching plot of go kill the demon, but again, in a similar way, a lot of what goes on in 11, what makes it good, is the little side stories that occur.
They're so good.
I imagine that core conceit would probably just end up being like played as sort of a tongue-in-cheek thing, as it gets further in the background, and you have more and more like individual plot points,
Or more and more sort of sidetracky things, yes. And Dragon Quest VIII does things very similar. Let's leave it at, when I say Dragon Quest V does a little bit more, that's not the only thing I'm talking about, and there's a reason I'm circumlocuting this.
right?
This game, this chapter is a bit rougher than the last one.
Yeah.
Yes, and the previous chapter, you had Ragnar, who's just a big old, beefy ball of HP and damage. He's got enough defense with what you start with and what you can quickly buy for him that he is going to be able to just mow his way through just about everything. In this chapter, you don't really have a tank per se. Elena, I'm going to keep calling her Alina. That's how I learned how to say her name as a kid, and I know it's wrong, so apologies about that. Elena kind of works.
Yeah.
But she's not quite there yet. She hasn't gained enough levels to really tank, and you don't have anyone who can wear super heavy gear as yet. Now, Kirill and just about everyone here can put on leather armor, and the two guys can wear leather shields and put on leather hats. And that's going to be a pretty substantial amount of defense, but you don't start with good gear.
Yeah. The other thing is, incidentally, I think I always pronounce it Elena, sort of intrinsically.
I think Elena or Alina or Elena, any of these would, depending on who you talk to, could probably be correct. Forget how her name is pronounced in the Dragon Quest Heroes games.
Right. Well, irrespective.
I should play those. I feel like I know enough about Dragon Quest now that I would actually enjoy those.
Yeah, I'm a little
Probably.
surprised you haven't played Dragon Quest Heroes together.
I've heard that they're pretty good.
A lot of what drives me to play various Warriors games is having a foothold in that
the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So like 3 Kingdoms or whatever.
Well, no.
I know that there was a second Dragon Quest Heroes game, and it has, along with the character showing up in the first game, almost the entire cast from this game in it.
Well, the 3 Kingdoms and Samurai Warriors was just, that's what those games started as.
I see.
But like picking up One Piece, picking up Zelda, picking up Gundam.
Right.
Well, you almost have enough money to buy leather armor.
Almost. That's pretty much my goal right now, is I'm trying to get survivability. I can kill. I need to not take damage.
More important.
Getting like a leather armor and perhaps a copper sword for Kirill is probably a reasonable idea.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can sell his club for almost the entire amount of money the club is worth.
Wow.
So
If
you really wanted to, you could have tried to save 8 gold by just letting Elena punch things until you got 100 gold pieces, but that's saving 8 gold, who cares? The value is not worthwhile there.
The value.
Yep, I was waiting for it.
Yeah, every time somebody says that word.
See what
I was setting y'all up.
So mountains are just a whole bunch of walking sticks.
Not necessarily. Mountains are every different type of topography is going to have different encounters in it. Plains are going to have the easiest encounters. Forests have slightly harder encounters, and mountains have much harder encounters from that. Also, you're going to run into enemies more frequently in mountain areas.
It's so weird that you can just walk through mountains.
Yeah. Also, you're probably walking into a different area that has a different set of monsters in it. So due to that, they're going to be a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, I am poking the mountains, though, because...
Absolutely. You have the ability to do this. Like, you could probably fight a little bit more to the east if you wanted to. Found him. I was waiting for that. Hi, Foo Dog.
It's fine, we have magic. I have spells.
Hey, Vinay, you've played Etrian Odyssey, right?
I have.
Remember those panthers?
I have spells. Old man,
yes.
Old man has spells.
They were
Holy
FOEs.
shit! He's dead. He's dead.
Yeah. So at level 1, those suckers are terrifying.
Yeah,
but you gained a couple levels, so you're fine.
If you are walking on the mountains in level 1, well, I guess I walked on level 2.
You did. You did. I was just why I was sitting there going, I was sitting there going, oh no.
You have only yourself to blame.
No, you could. Even though that guy kind of roughed you up a little bit, you have enough resources since Kiro can heal 6 times right now.
Oh no! Valadon reminded me of the Great Lynxes on floor 1 of Etrian.
That's what I was talking about. The cats.
Oh no!
That's what I was talking about.
Cats. They could one-shot backliners.
Yeah, I was referencing the Panthers. That's what I meant.
Oh no!
I mean, they can one-shot backliners is Etrian Odyssey floor 1 foes.txt.
No, they weren't FOEs. They were random encounters.
Oh, I don't remember
They
that.
were nightmares.
Yep. I remember seeing one the first time through, and I killed it with, like, my tank, who happened to be the one who got hit with, like, 2 health left after the first, and I went, what the fuck was that?
What was that? Yeah, they are terrifying. You do
What
not
is this game?
Great Lynxes. Venom flies are that enemy kind of, but they use a status effect. Great Lynxes just kill the shit out of you.
It's a good way to introduce that this game is not holding, like, your hand. It is not pulling punches.
It's not pulling punches. Either you use damage
I don't know if the game is smart enough to do this. I don't think so. But when I attack a group, I found more times than not, if somebody pokes something and doesn't kill it, and I'm spell targeting that party too, the spell targets a fresh one.
The spell will target a fresh one, usually if the AI knows the spell will kill.
Okay.
However, if you've only done like half its health, and then you cast a spell, it probably will try to finish off that target.
Yeah, it tries not to waste damage, but if there's a choice between not killing and wasting some damage, it will waste some damage. But the auto-targeting is actually moderate.
So, unfortunately, her armor she's wearing, that silk robe, nobody else can use it.
Oh, well, that's fine. We'll just
but you can have her equip the silk robe for now. and then give the leather armor to Kirill and all that fun stuff.
I'm guessing the group system was just kind of a weird holdover from the NES games because, I don't know, they may have had to do that due to some space
programming.
Yeah, it was a programming thing. So, like, originally in the first Dragon Quest game, every fight was one-on-one.
Yes.
So, no encounter involved more than one enemy. I think there might have been some exceptions. Underground might have been an exception, but I don't think there were too many.
You never fight anything besides a one-on-one.
Yeah, in the first game, it's always one-on-one. I remember that much.
So in Dragon Quest 2, for a while, you mostly encounter a lone enemy.
Nope. Right off the bat, you can run into small packs.
You can run into groups, and when you do, they're grouped by type.
Yes.
Which I believe may be a wizard, because that wizard can targeting still does.
You are breaking up.
Oh, excuse me. It might have been a holdover from wizardry, because that's how wizardry handled targeting for groups. Like, when you got your encounter, you'd be like, you are fighting 12 creeping cruds and 5 evil coins, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And that's how it would be presented, and you target your spells at the 12 creeping cruds and the 5 evil.
But in this one, you can just have groups that are, even of the same type, could be in different groups. Like, we had just 2 sets of 2 walking sticks.
Yeah, it's really interesting how you can just, like, the holdovers, the solutions that somebody found for a particular program can just sort of pass themselves along to another subspecies and just, like, through the telephone game or whatever. You have wizardry, may have had some programming hiccups that needed to be addressed with grouping enemies together in a specific way, and then the folks that played those games that would later go on to make Dragon Quest was like, yeah, I remember that, we should put that in.
So incidentally, the reason it worked that way in wizardry is because, like, you can see how there's space to display 4 slimes here or whatever. In a wizardry fight, there was space typically to display 3 enemy sprites. So you could display 3 quote-unquote stacks of any enemy represented by one of those sprites.
If people have played Final Fantasy Legends, Final Fantasy Legend 1 and 2 did that.
Yeah.
Technically 5 did that. In one dungeon.
Yes, okay. There were
4
some
also did that in one dungeon.
But Legend 1 and 2 did that as a matter of course, so that like bosses would be represented as Genbu 1.
You had to mention Genbu.
Well, it's the first boss, right? Well, other than like King's Sword.
Yeah.
King Dragon.
The Genbu is the first like area boss.
Did you get? You did. You got exactly enough money for it.
Exactly.
But you can sell the copper sword or oaken.
Time to sell this copper sword.
I bought it and sold it back. Value.
Sell this oaken club for in money.
And yeah, FF Legend 1 and 2 are definitely my mental go-to for enemy stacks, although, you know, I'm a little disappointed that the game didn't just take that extra fuck you step in Legend 1 and have, like, Suzaku show up in stacks of when he randomly ambushes you.
Nope. Nope. Hey,
it's like one of the most interesting things to learn about the Japanese gaming scene was that they loved the shit out of wizardry.
Oh yeah. They fucking adore wizardry. And I mean, it's wild. They have so many wizardry sequels that we have just never fucking seen.
Unfortunately, you can't get to the back half of this place.
No. I just forgot where the fucking church was.
That's fair. I appreciate that you're doing dutiful saving here.
I've played a Dragon Quest.
You know what's gonna happen.
I've played one Dragon Quest.
You know how this does.
I've walked on those mountains.
There's actually a couple enemies you haven't run into yet around this area.
Interesting. Well, we're going to make a push for the second village.
One actually shows up in the mountains, and another one... No, you ran into one of them, but you ran into a troglodyte around here. Troglodytes show up in packs around here at nighttime. They are a little bit harder than the guys you're fighting right now, but they give good money.
And then the turn where nobody took damage.
Yeah. One good thing about Boria here at the beginning is after he gains a couple levels, he can cast his ice spell pretty much every round because he has enough MP to do it.
Yeah, his MP gain is insanely high.
Yeah, he can cast, I'm going to call it Ice Bolt because that's what it is.
Crack.
It's crack.
Yeah, shut up, it's Ice Bolt. That's what it was in the original game, and that's what I'm going with. He can cast it 13 times right now.
But when does Christo learn Infernos?
He doesn't.
He doesn't? Really?
Nope.
Oh no, fuck. God damn it, you're right.
All right,
It's
but,
the
by the
other
way,
cleric
Kirill's
that
name in the
learns
first
that.
game was Christo.
hell yeah. When do I learn Nuke?
Not in this one.
Not for a while.
Hello.
There they are. Hi,
Bagworms.
bagworms.
Well,
These guys have a very God, I forgot that
Ice type
attack.
damage.
Look at that.
those things are sacks of money. That's what they are.
Yes, they are. That's why I was waiting for you to run into one of them.
Unfortunately, dragons live on those mountains too. Or dragons. Tigers.
Dogs.
Tigers.
Tigers.
The Cursed Village.
Yep, this is another
Cursed
place I was waiting
Village
for you to run
Double.
into.
I wish I was not born in here.
No, I wish I am not born in here. If I am not, my daughter is still living.
We had like a good half hour of grinding. we had to get that
That's
out
going to
of the
happen
way.
at the beginning of each chapter. You're going to have a little bit of a grind.
Yeah, that is the unfortunate thing. That seems like that is the case.
Again, this is a 25-year-old game.
Yeah. I excuse some things just because it's 25-year-olds. Also, whatever. It gets me used to the new characters I'm playing as.
Yep. Hey, you found something at the bottom of the well. Yep, there it is. Okay, I gotta talk
time?
about this.
It's time.
I know what mini medals are.
Well, it's mostly for the chat.
They're collectibles. You hand them in, they give you stuff.
Yep. In the original game, mini medal. This is the first game to actually have the tiny metal mini medal system. And they have updated it to more modern ways of doing it in this game. So there, instead of it just being the original like 30 mini medals, there's like 100 something.
Also, if I'm remembering correctly, in the original Dragon Quest IV, it wasn't at certain thresholds you get rewards. It was there were another currency. You bought
Yes.
things with them.
You, for example, one of the things was you could buy a staff for just one of the medals, and then if you wanted to, you could buy another staff for one of the medals.
Okay, so
Or-
frog coins.
Yeah, frog coins is a great way to describe it.
But limited in number.
Yeah, the frog coins you eventually ran out. You could just get an unlimited amount based on mini games and stuff. In this game, there was a cap of, I think it was like 34 or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, this is catastrophe.
Didn't they also take up inventory space? You bet your butt they took up inventory space. However, you couldn't find a mini medal until the final chapter. That mini medal that Newbie just found wasn't there in the original game. It's added in for the DS version.
I will not be finding them all.
There's
Oh, really?
not
Aww.
necessarily a reason to. And
Alright,
it is
You
not a
want to
totally
find every single mini medal by hunting in every single spot in every single place across the world to get a piece of equipment that's only about an hour better than where you're currently at?
No.
Sounds
Yeah.
fun.
No. Which, if you had just been progressing the game normally, you would have gotten to that piece of equipment in the same time
Free
frame.
hat.
Oh boy, a hat.
Hey,
You
it's a free hat.
joke. That's actually an improvement for two of my characters.
Yes, it is. 2 points of defense, baby. Hoo-ha.
Healer or
Give it to
old
the
man?
wizard.
Okay, they're both wizards.
Give it to the old man.
There you go.
Well, okay, when I say wizard, I mean the actual character whose class is wizard.
I don't think his class is wizard. I think it's sorcerer. He is magician. We're both wrong.
Like, the only reason I put up with the 100 collectible system in Lost Odyssey is because they had an auction house that lets you just buy any item that was in a permanently missable dungeon.
Yep. That is a very good thing to do.
Yeah, that was really good.
Is Lost Odyssey the Xbox RPG that has art by the guy who did Vagabond?
Yeah, no, it is the Xbox 360 RPG made by Mistwalker about the immortals who suck plus they got depression.
Yeah. So it does have character design art by the guy who did Vid.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, like I'm not entirely sure.
It's
but, like,
Xbox's
Sakaguchi,
version
yeah.
of Final Fantasy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Finally,
it's the one
Xbox got an RPG. Finally, Xbox got a Final Fantasy.
If I recall correctly, the quote-unquote rando collectible thing was actually just incredibly depressing short stories.
Yes.
Though,
They're
like,
also very good stories.
They are, but they're just
they're out of place.
invariably extremely either grim or melancholy.
So here's the thing, right? Like, they are really out of place in the game because that's not what you're there for. You're there to play a game, and then suddenly you get slammed by a little visual novel every so often. It's like, these are really good stories, and I would love to read them on my own time, but like, I'm here to play the game, y'all.
Fair enough. I mean, I guess I read pretty quickly, so I don't think I'd have that much of a problem unless they're
no.
small novellas.
I'm pretty sure those stories are like slowly being presented to you. You don't get to just rapid fire
Yes,
click through
of
them.
course.
You
the time.
can't read it. You're
Well, yes, you actually like you sleep in an inn and you have a menu showing all of the dreams that you've acquired, and you can just sort of
Nice.
read them.
Save in this town?
You cannot save here. There's a reason for that. They don't want you to get caught in a loop.
Can I leave
There-
the town?
You can leave the town. Yeah, if you want to go get more gear, you can do that.
Okay. Also, they're not the boss of me. I can extremely save this town.
Yeah, or you can just try to progress and see what happens.
Yeah, let's see how this goes. Any other buffs I would get is just more grinding. Let's just see if we can do this.
Exactly. And this is one thing that I will point out that I hopefully newbie isn't too like worried about. You don't need to have it so that everybody survives every fight. If someone drops but you beat a boss, it's okay.
You're fine. Yeah, you're fine.
But
Don't
This
worry
isn't
about
like Final Fantasy 1 where everyone has to level up at the exact same time the whole
But-
way through the stupid game.
But then the experience gets desynced.
They're already level desynced. Who gives a shit?
Yep, it doesn't matter.
Ah, dude, bro.
Dobro!
Please don't litter in the litter.
Thank you. I was gonna say it.
I was playing idiot reference chicken with you. I'm lost.
Please enter a box.
Newbie just presses BOX on his keyboard.
Get it in the box.
Puns.
Yeah, the novels were some of the best writing in the game because they were written by a professional short story author.
Yes.
Someone who had actually won awards writing well.
Ba-doop-ba-doo.
In the realm of Colonel, a friend and I watched through Macross semi-recently, and honest to God, my summary of that...
Dog! Not dog!
Well, I know I can kill a dog.
So you should kill a dog.
Dogs.
And I know I should kill a dog.
You should focus fire a dog.
I'm going to focus fire a dog. That is the plan.
Okay, so my brain is fucking up real bad.
What's up?
Look at Proper Jobs post in the chat. That is fucking brilliant.
Kirill lost almost half his health in one swing of that thing's staff.
Sure
Kirill's
did.
almost dead.
Yeah, it's like my brain is really fucking up hard trying to parse that sprite because one time, like, it may look like a goblin with really big fangs, and then other times it just looks like a duck with shades and really low eyes.
Yep.
Both of which could be Dragon Quest enemies.
But I'm definitely seeing the goblin with feathery merfolk ears and so forth.
This guy's actually kind of a roadblock, isn't he, newbie?
I see the chat is doing things. Oh dear.
So you're going to be picking up a spell here in a little bit that would have made this fight much easier, but you can beat it at this level. It's perfectly reasonable.
Does it just get crackle?
No. Well, I mean, he eventually learns Crackle. You're going to learn it right now.
But there's something else.
Yeah.
Is it the chosen spell?
It's one of the most important spells in the game.
Meanwhile, the chat keeps happening.
She gained 2 levels, by the way. You got 150 experience.
Big.
Oh, yeah. She's starting to hit her stride. Most characters between levels 1 to 5 don't gain much in the way of stuff. Once they get to about 6, then they start to get into their class-specific growths, where they start being... You can see where they're going to be going.
Oh my god, he does look like a Link to the Past Zora.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
All right, we're done here. I hate everyone in the chat.
Chat, why do you do these?
I'm looking more at that geese sprite.
Okay. Yeah.
Sap. Yep.
Is it time?
Master Kung. Kung who?
Let's just leave it, shall we?
Oh, come on.
Wow, turns out all we had to do is just beat up the monsters and they'd stop making us sacrifice maidens.
Yep.
It turns out professional monster slayers are in relative.
Weird when you kill the thing that you're sacrificing the monsters to, you don't have to make sacrifices anymore.
That was a full heal. Well done.
All right.
Yes.
Who gets the seed?
Is it Boria?
She is a monk.
I will actually go out on a limb here and say anyone in your party can use the seeds.
There's a
Unlike-
legitimate case.
Unlike Ragnar, it's like he doesn't need it. Any of them need it.
Yeah, Elena is the front liner. Actually, question: does party order actually matter in this game?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So Elena's the front liner. She has the most HP. She's going to be getting the most hits. Carol is the healer and needs to stay up, and Boria desperately needs more HP.
Yeah. If you made any decision between the 3, I would not fault you at all.
Yeah, I think I'm going to. Generally, I like to play on the strengths, like give the agility seed to the high agility character, that stuff. But in this case, I kind of don't want my mage to drop in like one shot.
That's a strong call. Again, I do not fault you at all if for any... Hey, you got the average. That's nice. For any pick on these 3.
I have actually not gotten below the average, I think, on any of my seeds. So
No, you got the 4 HP on the HP seed for Ragnar.
Yeah, well,
Because you can
So
get
is
4
it-
to 6 in HP.
So is it like higher priority for targeting, or do certain attacks just target?
It's kind of like in Final Fantasy 1, where in Final Fantasy
Okay.
1, the first person had 50%, second person 25, and third and fourth had 12.5. It's not the exact same in this. I think it's a little bit more even throughout, but the first and second people are going to get targeted much more than third and fourth.
no barrels.
That reminds me.
There also are some... I'll finish up here in just a sec. There are some enemies that just have a targeting that says we will target the back line more than the front line, so it's not always perfect.
Mhm.
Sorry, Vinay.
Go ahead. What I was going to ask is, did you ever play Romancing Saga 3?
I have played it, yes.
Okay. So, that game took it kind of a lunatic step further, as the Saga games generally do. Not by having the front characters get targeted more, but by giving you, like, 20 different formations you could set your characters in based on who your lead character was,
Mm-hmm.
and having every different formation assign different target percentages to the positions in the formation.
Oh, that's a Saga game, all right.
That's a Saga game.
You want to
But
get
yes.
that bow, don't you?
Yeah, and Saga 3
kinda-
does
So,
give you different stats based on what position you're in. Saga 3 was maximum Saga.
I
Yeah.
need to try that remake.
kind of want to get that bow.
But for
Oh,
who
yes,
would you give the
Commander.
bow?
Yeah, that's a good question. I could get the punch girl to just punch harder and give the old
Yes.
man a bigger stick. Or I give it to
Oh, he
the
can't.
old
He
man.
can't use the club. He can't use the club.
What if he used
But-
the bow, though?
Yeah, but then he's doing about as much damage as he would be doing with his ice spell.
But what if he had a bow?
Oh god, he'll get a bow when you eventually give your punch girl a better weapon. hand-me-down method.
But what if he had a bow now?
Oh my god.
Oh god, I just remembered.
Oh,
One
by
of
the
the
way,
characters-
have fun.
Oh yeah, welcome to the next part of Elena's story. One of the characters in Romancing Saga 3, one of like 7 or 8 of the playable characters you can choose at the start, gets a special version of the final boss that is only for them if you take on the final fight in commander mode, where she sits in the back and shouts orders instead of actually fighting.
Nice.
This is the only way that that character can be
Whoops.
in a boss fight.
Whoops.
I was just throwing down a save state, and I accidentally
Yep.
minimized the game.
Oh, okay.
I'm too used to playing Fire Emblem 9, where I had to click a different window. All right, what about mountains though? Yeah, yeah, give me another one.
Oh no.
I'm in danger.
You are in danger.
A 5-pack of these guys. Okay, you got rid of one of them before they hit you. That's okay.
Oh, they
So
all
remember
went
how I was
for-
talking about enemies that can attack the back line as much as the front line? These guys don't care about order. They will attack whomever they want to. It's an even chance across the board.
Well, because they have an even spread of heads.
Exactly.
Yeah, luckily they're all going for Elena.
Yeah, you're getting lucky and they're hitting your frontliner, but they can and will focus fire on Boria occasionally. And there are more enemies in this chapter who actually have back row targeting preferences, and those enemies are jackasses.
Mm-hmm.
They were good here, though.
Yeah, you're
Chat is giving me flashbacks of how Romancing Saga 3 appears to have been the prototype for Octopath Traveler like 20-25 years after it came out.
I could see it.
Yeah,
I can see it, yeah.
no, yeah, 100%.
Like what with one character having the capitalism mini,
Buff.
another character's having
Hey, there it is.
rulership, and-
This is actually, if you had waited till level 6-ish to fight the Master Kung back there, that's really when you got like 100% chance to win, because Kirill just casts buff on everybody and then you're fine.
Like, again, the DS version of Final Fantasy III completely missed the point, but it was
Yes.
the start of that design chain.
Which is why I don't mind that they made risks by changing it up, even though they thought it was going to be a good thing, and at the time it was not, because it led to something very cool.
Okay, but what about...
Yes?
Wait, am I thinking about Romancing Saga 3?
I don't know.
know.
No, Saga Frontier 1. That's what I'm thinking
Saga
about.
Frontier 1.
What about Saga Frontier
Oh,
1, where one of the characters has a boss fight where they can lose and then the story just pivots to a different character?
Yes, Blue. If you lose Blue's nominal
No,
final
if
boss
you lose
fight.
Red. I think it's Red.
No, it isn't.
Okay,
Red is the Kamen Rider character.
okay.
Blue is fighting against his twin brother Rouge at the end of his plot line, and if you lose there, Rouge just becomes the main character and you continue.
Yeah, that's really cool to me.
God, I love Saga Frontier 1. The first
that's
game
super
I bought for the PlayStation 1. I played it so much fucking Saga Frontier.
You have enough money if you sell an herb along with your club.
It's good to have healing items. I can just go out and do one more fight.
Yep.
Easy
Saga
fight.
games are fascinating just for being the biggest galaxy brain games in the
Yeah,
fucking
because
genre.
there are so many insane links.
Yep, and you should play Final Fantasy Legends 1 and 2 if you want to play more Saga games.
Yes. Legend 2 I would actually even recommend as being a fun, cool game.
That's
It is a
right.
fun
That
game.
said,
Time to sit down and play the one that you can play the most. That's right, Unlimited Saga, because it's unlimited.
please stop.
I was going to just stop right there, but no, you just wanted to keep it going.
Please
By the way,
stop.
I want to point out, one of those things ran away. You were a high enough level that they just said, nope.
They're right. Alright, so
From
old,
what I'd-
old man can't use club.
He cannot use clubs.
Yeah, let me put it to you this way, just to head the chat off at the pass. The Saga games are a gigantic mess of half-baked ideas that blend together in an absolutely wonderful and ridiculous way that's very entertaining. but are still kind of bad from a, I don't know,
Gameplay.
a weird sort of standard. Unlimited Saga is bad compared to that standard.
Yeah, Unlimited Saga is bad in the abstract because it's just hard to like get to the game part of the game, and it's not particularly good when you do. Saga Frontier 1 is unfinished, but what's there can frequently be fun. Play as the Kamen Rider, play as the robot. Those are actually just good stories in and of themselves.
Also, you're playing as Kamen Rider and a robot.
Yes, so there's that. But like, in the plot line where you play as the robot, you get new, unique systems that revolve around that character's story that are unique to that story. Unlimited Saga is just bad.
Unlimited, like, the best description I've heard of Unlimited Saga, of course, came from Doc, and he would know. Unlimited Saga is basically a pen and paper tabletop RPG campaign run by the world's shittiest DM.
So I did that really hard fight, and my immediate mind was, I gotta go rest and hit. And then I paused the game, stopped for a minute, and went, I actually am fine.
You're fine, yeah.
Yeah, this team has a lot more resources to deal with taking damage, and also to deal damage, but it isn't an infinite pool. They do have to go back to town from time to time, unlike Ragnar, who just needs to use an herb every so often because, oh no, I'm at half health. That's my only resource management I have to pay attention to.
Yeah. Now, for what it's worth, though I'm saving in churches, we'll probably still be using save states a lot, mainly because, again, if I die, I lose half my money, and that's still it's failing forward.
Hit yes. What are you doing?
It's still failing forward, but it's also like weird how a lot of the grinding I've been doing isn't for levels, but for equipment.
Yes.
It's 2019. You're fine. You need to save anywhere. You ain't got time for save points.
Ain't got time to read.
Mega sucks. I ain't got time for comic books.
You got of course you got life force nuts from beating the boss. In the original game, instead you had to search the space where he was. Oh, here they are. That's right, it's a bullfinch.
This fire spirit is having serious regrets.
Yeah, this fire spirit casts magic, so they're immediately just gonna be removed. I can identify a problem when one exists.
Yep.
Oh yeah, so that said,
The old man
I've
crits for
heard,
6 damage.
Saga Frontier 2 is finished, but is also much, much more a story game than you would expect from anything with the Saga name on it.
Yeah, I actually played. I'd be interested to go back and attempt that game, or really any Saga game, now that my brain isn't dumb.
Don't do it.
I've heard Saga Frontier 2 was actually maybe worth it.
Worth it or worse?
Worth.
Okay. Because I could have, if you had said worth it or worse, I could agree with both of those ideas.
No, maybe.
But mainly, like,
is anyone else noticing that the bullfinch is its right hoof, but on our side it would be left, is clipping
Is coming
out?
yeah, I saw that.
don't worry about it.
I hate these things. I hate these things. I hate these things.
Oh yeah, because I haven't seen this thing they do yet, which is either poison or put to sleep.
Speaking of put to sleep, you do have the ability to do that to them.
Status effects never work.
They super work in Dragon Quest.
Yeah, I'd call Romancing Saga 3 a good entry in the series only because it's on modern platforms now.
Alternatively, Legend 2, just because it's so fast to play, because there's no animation of actually any kind, which means that you can just zoom go.
One thing I do like about this game is even though you see the attacks of your people, the animations are pretty quick.
They're pretty
so
quick.
You're not taking forever to get through fights. Like, Newbie's done, 3 or 4 fights in the past couple minutes? That's pretty good.
But picture Legend 2, where the combat speed is like 2 to 3 times.
Yeah.
And also, the soundtrack is great.
Okay, yeah, that Bullfinch's hoof did not render properly. Holy
That's great.
shit.
Yeah, it's separating when it hits the end of a...
Look. Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Did I put either of them to sleep? I can't even tell.
You put both of them to sleep.
Okay.
we have sort of sidetracked dramatically to Saga. I'm sorry. Crumb can return us to Dragon.
So the funniest thing here is that Newbie actually put an enemy to sleep that has an attack command in their sleep.
What?
Yes,
Bullfinches have a.
Bullfinches
yes,
have an
they
ability
do.
where they roll over in their sleep and they hit you. The best part about that is their ability to roll over in their sleep has a super high critical hit chance.
Great.
Yep.
Sweet, rude.
I can't believe I walked directly in the Chrome advice.
I gave Crumb advice for dealing with the funguls, which is it's a really good idea to put them to sleep, and then you fought the one enemy that has an ability to do something when they're asleep. It's one of those, I didn't mean this! This is not what I wanted! I meant to be nice and it backfired. The Crumb story.
I find this a dubious claim.
A lot of the times, Crumb advice actually is me trying to be, like, giving good advice. It's just, it happens to, like, backfire in spectacular ways. Like, oh, that's Crumb again, giving that Crumb advice. I'm going, yes, that's what I meant to do. Be a dick. You got me.
I mean,
Yes, this was premeditated.
no, I believe it.
I'm not owned.
Sometimes it is premeditated. Most of the times, it's in Blood Bowl.
That's Blood Bowl.
Yep.
Alright, so I gotta get this armlet.
Golden bracelet.
Yeah, yeah. That's not
Yep.
even a noise. That's not a noise. That's not a noise anywhere.
Wait,
I really
what?
have no idea what.
You can walk around that? What?
Apparently you can walk around that.
It's 3D.
Isn't that my
Oh, the
dad?
princess is here.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah. She's inside the inn. How about that?
I can only assume that the main character is incredibly. Soon she'll be beside herself.
Hey, newbie, you see that thing that's flashing in that patch of grass beyond the...
Yeah.
You want to know how you get that?
No, I'll figure it out.
Okay.
You fall off the cliff right above it.
Nope.
Yeah, clearly.
Well, maybe, actually. We'll find out.
I have another plan.
Do
Damn.
Yeah, nope.
Or it's come back at night. Give me either one of those. We'll run experiments.
We'll figure it out. Hello, item shop. How are you?
Chainmail.
Also, bronze armor. So this is something that's actually very nice about Kirill. Even though he is a priest, he is a war priest, so to speak, like clerics. In
He's a D&D
D&D.
cleric. He's a D&D cleric. Let's
He
make
can
it-
wear lots of reasonably heavy armor. He's not going to be able to wear the heaviest stuff, that's like Ragnar exclusive stuff, but he can wear some moderately heavy gear.
Oh, where's Weapon Shop? What the?
He's one of the guys that's wanting to see the princess.
She's right here.
Oh, that reminds me. Speaking of D&D clerics, hey, Crumb.
Yes.
Did you ever play Dungeons and Dragons Shadows over Mystara?
Of course I did.
Sticks
Good.
to snakes.
Yes, it contains the staff of sticks to snakes. That's actually what I was going to bring up. Because it's the greatest weapon I've seen in any beat 'em up ever.
I have not played that game in ages.
It's on Steam.
Good.
A lot of the vocal voice clips for that game are absolutely amazing.
Oh!
Seriously, the cleric going, sticks to snakes.
Oh my god. But
Also,
yes, that game
it's
absolutely-
the worst, it's the most worthless spell in that fucking game.
Yeah,
Of course it is.
But
It's also
the
a worthless
weapon-
friggin' spell in the original game.
The weapon is great.
Okay, again, these sentences just take me a moment to parse.
Come closer and we kill the princess.
Come
Yeah.
more closer, and we have dead princess in our hand.
Oh no, the princess has been stolen. Away from us.
plain clothes.
Oh, I forgot to mention it. That leather hat you found in the previous village, that wasn't there in the original game. That's your piece of equipment.
Can't get down this way.
Nope. Maybe come back at nighttime.
Yeah, that was my plan B. Well, weird.
Yeah,
Hey, look
here's
at
the
that,
trick
it's almost
about
nighttime.
here's the trick about Shadows over Mystara. You play it with a friend.
You play it with
Yes.
several
Oh,
friends.
Play it
It's
with several friends
not-
for just maximal combat.
It's not fun on your own.
No, it's not. You need someone to share the pain
Sorry.
with you.
It's not fun on your own unless you're playing as the thief, because then the game gets real weird.
She's
'Cause,
a crazy person.
Yeah, the thief has a lot of mobility tools the character has, including a ludicrous number of iframes
Oh yeah.
for no real reason other than is thief. Swing and a miss, I guess.
Real
But
talk,
yeah.
newbie. I had the exact same idea you had.
So did I, actually. That's how I thought this worked, which is why I wasn't saying anything.
Oh no, it's dumber.
Ah, that's right. The jump in the air and throw. The only unbreakable item. Shadows over Mistra is the dark wolf.
It's now that I realize that these trees are sprites.
Yep. Let me in! Let me in!
Okay, so this is hilarious that if you touch the back of the stairs, they like zoop around like that, but you could just walk on the back of the stairway.
Listen, the game isn't perfect, okay?
I remember I remember how they used to build houses where they had the second floor and you had to jump a little bit in order to get to the next part of the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, keeps everybody spry.
I remember how they used to build houses and that they didn't have roofs and they were all made of dirt.
You should talk to that kid.
I remember how they used to build houses where they had the worst leveling system in the world and nothing was straight.
Can I not get it now?
Well, the treasure is hidden in the local cave. Do you actually want to know how to get that item?
Yes.
You have to save and reload the game here.
Never would have figured that out.
Yep, it's stupid.
It's also not mandatory, apparently.
No, that's not the treasure right there. That's just a little item.
I know, but I want it. It's there.
Yep. It's
Oh
the
no.
first time I
I-
figured that out. It's just I'm sitting there going, "Are you shitting me?"
I hit the bad button.
Uh,
The bad not okay, no, I did this right.
No, you have to.
Yes. Ba 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 ba.
Yeah, and like I finally get it because like at first you see the priest coming in and you're like, okay, well I need to get in there while he's not around. That's half the equation.
How do you get it so he's not around? You make it so that when you peer back in the game, he's behind the altar.
Mm-hmm.
Crikey.
Life seed though. Worth it.
Yep. Which is why it was, yeah, it's not something that is mandatory, but it's something very nice to get. So no, which person is going to get this seed?
Healer. Well, healer
Okay.
gets pretty tanky.
He's already pretty, yeah, he gets a lot of stuff, but your fighter chick, your monk,
Yeah.
at this point in the game, Kirill is actually, once he gets all his gear, he's actually going to be as good as she is at hurting things, and he's going to be much more durable than she is. Eventually, she will surpass him in every way, shape, and form in terms of
So
offense.
they
and
don't
defense.
sell new weapons here.
Not yet, because the guy who's running the
The
shop
weapon
is
shop
gone.
is gone. Right, yeah.
Wait, can you pull up the little summary boxes?
Ooh, that's a good question. No.
Okay.
Yeah,
Shops-
but you can buy some better armor at least.
Shop's closed.
Chainmail, I believe, is something that Elena can use. Which is actually a pretty good piece of equipment.
Proper job. A main character is a punch princess. We've already been through one main character, and he was a middle-aged man.
I miss him.
Yeah, there you go.
Now,
she can put that on and get a nice
yeah, and I
boost.
can sell the silk robe because nobody else can equip it.
Exactly. Which might give you enough money to get the
More.
hardwood headgear. I think you're going to be a little short.
Oh yeah. Our previous one was a knight in pink armor. Our next one will be
You don't
Somebody
say.
else.
a new person entirely.
I like how Discord was able to cut you off right before you said it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hardwood headgear and bronze armor is pretty big pickups for Kirill. That'll get him to being very durable.
Okay. I'm gonna
Oh, man.
venture off into the darkness, but first.
I was
Oi,
just
oi, oi.
reminded of the. Sorry, say again.
Oh, yeah. That's what the end guy said.
Yeah, you can
So
start
he-
exploring. There's a large chunk of land you haven't seen yet.
Oh, yeah. Yo ho har.
Yar har ho.
Yar har ho. Yeah. I've been conditioned.
There's a town over there.
There's a town over there. Well, fancy that.
Hey, newbie, you should put these things to sleep. I hear it's a great idea.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Fool me once, Chrome.
I felt so bad. Next fight's like, great, he's gonna know to use status effects. 2 bullfinches show up. Son of a bitch.
Time for me to use status effects on the much more dangerous enemy in this group.
So eventually you're going to run into them, and occasionally they show up into the fight asleep. And that's how you learn they're dangerous, by being asleep.
Wow,
This game does not have Wait, I think this game might have party chat.
Nope. There is the phone remake of this does have party chat.
I
But
know
this one
Dragon
does
Quest
not, sadly.
5 DS does have party chat.
Yep, 5
does
onwards does. It's kind of a shame that this game doesn't have the party chat because there's some pretty good stuff said by characters going along the way. I haven't played it with party chat, but I've read some of the things they say.
The party chat in Dragon Quest 5 is terrifyingly extensive. There are
it's
parts
very
of the game where you're just walking around with yourself and one other named character,
Mhm.
and they have a unique response for like every new NPC you talk to in every new town in that world.
Oh, that old man needs to shut the hell up. Or, oh, I remember playing a prank on that guardsman. That was good times.
No. After that,
Oh, I know, but that's just an example of what I'm talking about. It's amazing how often it pops up in that game.
and like to specific NPC dialogues as well.
Welcome to this cave. Bedbugs.
We're gonna be here for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you saw some chests to go pick up.
One of them is asleep. Oh, that reminds me, Crumb.
Yes.
I recently discovered that one of the later retranslate of one of the games in this series had the single greatest localization change I've ever seen. I think I may have told you this before. Chat and newbie. Do you remember Dragon Quest II's Armor of Gaia?
Yes.
Do you know what it was called in the retranslate?
Probably terra firma.
Nope. Even
No.
better. Tectonic Plate.
God damn it.
It's really good.
Nice.
Perfect.
I think I got that in Dragon Quest Builders 2.
Probably.
Also, hello
Just-
evac. Well, dungeons are free now.
You might want to heal.
What? No, I'm fine. I'm fine?
I will never get over Tectonic.
Boria's at 19 health.
He's half health.
Yeah, just don't get hit.
Okay.
She? Oh, Boria, excuse me.
Boria.
Borat.
Sorry, I heard it. Your warrior.
Your warrior is dying. Warrior needs food badly.
Badly, yeah. Priest shot the food.
I will freely admit, Tectonic Plate is an amazing name.
I am just in awe of that.
That's a real good name.
Like, I've been, take it or leave it on some of these levels. But goddamn.
I do want you to know that for the last... How long have we going on this chapter? Almost an hour and a half. I have been thinking about ultra-violent light like the whole time. That phrase specifically has just been floating around in my head.
Thanks, Oscar.
That's a good one.
It's maybe my favorite line for that entire video. It's just ultra-violent.
Yup.
Oh, it's a thorny devil.
Yeah, that thing dies.
I know that thing as a Thurvo. That's what its original name was.
Oh, weird. That thing dies.
Those things are assholes. So, in the previous chapter, we saw Fire Breath was annoying, but you only had 2 people, and Healy had some resistance to Fire Breath, so he wouldn't always take damage from it. This group, no, you do not. Also, you can go right to hell with that item you just got.
What?
Go to hell.
What? What the hell?
Is
So-
that just... Oh.
It's an MP restoring item, and they're really, really common in the game.
They're uncommon. Yeah, welcome to this cave.
Also, oh no. Prepare for trouble.
Dazzle's just blind.
It's
Stuff. You also have healing.
Oh, please.
Good. You did the correct
Lord.
thing. Yep. Welcome to these assholes.
Whew, okay.
Now you know how to deal with them.
newbie
This
claimed
cave is
involuntarily.
infamous in people who played
Oof,
this
I
game.
just
This
used
place
snooze
does
again.
not fuck around.
This is where the game makes sure you're paying.
Oh, but right. I forgot. Dragon Quest is actually smart and stacks status effects.
Mhm.
Wait, it does?
Yeah.
Some of them, yes. Not all of them.
Not all of them, but like if you cast a buff or status effect multiple times, it'll either become a worse version of it, like they'll just decrease them further, or it will extend the timer.
Yes.
Okay, so you can just manipulate the timer by stacking.
Yes.
Usually with buffing spells, you manipulate the timer. Sometimes they stack, but it depends on the game.
So, status effects being useful. This is a game where specific status effects will be useful against specific enemies, but there's not necessarily a consistent way of knowing beyond stuff like this. Etrian Odyssey is a game where a sizable number of status effects are utterly devastating, whether they're on you or on the enemy, and an even larger number of status effects are utterly devastating only when they're on you.
In Etrian Odyssey 2, well, I can't put a plant to sleep. In Etrian Odyssey 2, through manipulation of status effects, you can completely neutralize almost every boss in the game.
Yep.
And through manipulation of status effects and the force system, which was the other big broken thing.
Yeah, and when I say every boss in the game, like I'm including the super ridiculous boss at the end of the
bonus
game.
boss.
You can just make it
You
not
can
have
put
turns.
those Carnivines to sleep, by the way, but they have a high resistance to it.
Okay. Hello, yes, I want your hardest armor.
Damn, you got enough to get the armor and the hat.
That I did.
But yes, EO2 was probably the worst game in terms of like janky, unbalanced systems. EO2 Untold is probably my favorite game for what they did to those systems.
EO5 is a good entry point, right?
4 is an exceptional entry point. 5 is a pretty good.
Okay.
I would pick 4 over 5 myself.
I would pick 5 over 4 myself because 5 does not have cross-classing.
But I love cross-classing.
Yes, but for somebody coming into the series, It's less
Throw him
complex.
in the deep end.
A real player must be tested. Walk fire with me.
Hey, I love gear too. I wouldn't tell people to have it be their first game though.
He means Guilty Gear.
That's what I figured. Yes. But in practice, the other thing is that 4 is not so hugely demanding in terms of like min-maxing the shit out of everything, that taking the wrong cross-class will fuck. There are a large number of right answers in EO4 for your subclass.
EO3?
As opposed to
no.
EO3,
EO4? Yes.
where there were a large number of wrong answers for your
Incredibly wrong answers.
Yeah.
Hey, you don't want to cross class in the peasant? Weird.
It's please never touch farmer. Please, at all times, if there isn't a compelling reason for your subclass not to be princess, your subclass should be princess.
Or ninja.
Yes
Other way
and no.
around. No, your main class wants to be ninja. Your subclass wants to be not ninja.
Mhm.
Pirate was the other one you could be. See, Vinay said your subclass should be princess and never play a princess. I beat that game with a princess pirate, and she was awesome.
I mean, yeah, that's fine. The thing is that because princess does not scale particularly strongly off their class passive, and nothing else about the class demands a class unique thing, you can just mise the skills onto somebody else. You can have your
Exactly.
hoplite, or not hoplite.
Hoplite
No, it is
has-
hoplite in that game.
You can have a hoplite do it, but I'd rather have the hoplite be a ninja split form.
To be bunshin, yeah.
As an aside, it's been mentioned multiple times in like the Discord, and it's come up once or twice on the channel itself. Hey newbie, would you ever play Entry Odyssey on stream? No.
No.
No, not on stream. It's not a
No.
big stream.
Look, I adore those games in a lot of contexts just because it's got a lot of crunch to it. It is not a game you stream.
It's not.
Your
it's
brain
not-
loves those games more than actual viewers would.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
actual viewers would go, why do you
Here-
hate yourself so much?
Here's the part that I really adore about Entry Odyssey, and hello, in part
That's-
the Persona Q series. I really like making maps.
Yeah, Dungeon Cartographer 2014 is what I called Etrian Odyssey 4 when it came out, and I don't think I was wrong.
Right, bats.
Yep. Again, these are enemies you can put to sleep. They have an extraordinarily high resistance to it.
Oh, my fingers are done.
You're fine.
Now, the really great thing about Dungeon Cartographer, because it's not a particularly hard entry in the series, I could run a sufficiently large number of party members and constantly have them rotating that I was like 5 levels under average.
Wait, what?
Which you're made for entertaining times.
What's the problem? They resist ice too.
They're immune to crack.
No,
Oh,
they're
they're
not.
not immune. They resist it.
They have a resistance to crack. You're going to run into more and more enemies that have resistance to certain types
Element.
of damage and such.
I just wouldn't expect them to do that before I obtain some other type of damage.
Sure.
DG,
I have said numerous times, this cave hates you.
much like bagworms, bats indeed have.
Yeah. Bats are resistant to your ice.
And snooze.
And snooze. And some of your options for dealing with them, but
I just
that's okay.
whiffed the staircase.
You did. I was I was curious what you were doing there. The stairs are over there. I see wall over here. It might have secret compartment.
Like, the other weird thing about why Etrian Odyssey would be such a bore to stream is that I'm thinking about over 10 years ago, a lot of us back over in the LP subforum would say that RPGs are boring as hell to stream or play videos on, and, yeah, well, here we are.
It matters on the context of it. If you have a lot of people
Yes.
talking over it and can be engaging, sure, it's a good thing to do. But if you're doing it solo, no.
Absolutely not. You need to have, like, it's basically background filler for a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
This snake, though.
Hello. It's so excited to see you.
Oh, it's a crest viper.
I'm all for Party Viper.
Yeah.
Just
Why
having a
hello
good
there,
time.
says this snake. This snake is cosplaying as Chrono.
By the way, you found out why you deal with the bed bugs first.
But I do
So
like
that bedbug used a stronger form of snooze, which is a single target one, which has a much higher chance of working, and usually the person hit by it stays asleep longer.
I think
Good
the
experience,
animation for
though.
the Crested Viper is a bit longer because, damn, you'd want to work on that Party Viper. Look at that thing.
Oh yeah. You learn Squelch, which is remove poison.
Which, contrary to
Oh.
what it sounds like, is the poison removal spell. Hey, a free vial of magical.
Just gotta squeeze.
Nope.
Oh, I can't rotate the map down here. That makes sense.
Nope.
It would give you like an unfair advantage of seeing around. All right. What about many party vipers?
Maybe put some of them to sleep? Oh, they're split up. That's gonna be a
Oh,
problem.
that's not good.
I can put some of them.
Eh.
To sleep.
You can put a pair of them to sleep.
Yeah, so focus fire on the one. Nah.
Aha.
Yep.
That's why these snakes are the worst thing ever.
Oh, no.
We die.
You put one of them to sleep. If you can take care of that third one and start, mitigating the damage, you'll be all right.
I need to heal.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
This place is scary.
God, this song's so fucking good.
Uh-huh.
I'm not gonna lie, because I don't have audio on the stream so that I don't constantly hear it echoing. Ever since somebody mentioned, I think it was Crumb, mentioned Final Fantasy Legend 2, I have had the battle theme from
hell
Legend
yeah.
2 stuck in my head. On loop
Now,
forever.
okay, good old man. You attacked the right one.
He actually hit the one on the left first, the first time through, so it would have died to a crack if he had hit it. So,
Whatever. We're done here.
yeah, you got through the fight. Again, you've learned the most important thing about this stupid dungeon
Also,
is cast sleep on groups.
it actually would not have died.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the Vipers here are a little beefy.
All right, old man, get a new spell. Show me something good.
I do
Well-
appreciate that just like
Nope.
Force Snake as an encounter has put the fear into you.
Yeah.
Yes, the 4 snakes. That was the one that put the fear into me. Not the 4 gremlins last time we were down here.
Well, that too.
Yeah, the 4 gremlins is the actual, oh, I might just be dead before I can move fight. The last time I played through this game, I ran into the 4-pack of those guys. They got the drop on me, and I died before I could do anything.
Mm-hmm.
All 4 of them spit fire, and before I could run away from the fight, they spit fire again and killed me.
It breathes, you die. It's
Yep.
like I'm playing a.
Blinkster.
Hey, a Blinkster. So the enemies you're fighting in here are about the level of enemies that Ragnar was dealing with in the tower. But since you have 3 people as opposed to his 1.5, you can deal with more stuff.
I mean, we're almost at the same level as Ragnar at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm pretty sure Ragnar didn't have to deal with an encounter that could easily just spit 16 fireballs at him.
He wouldn't have minded as much as this group, because if he was by himself and he gets 4 fireballs spit at him, that's like 30 damage. This group, it's 90 damage, so you're taking more damage from those AoE attacks. Also, he's got HP to spare. This is what you came for.
I was expecting a boss.
Nope.
Armlet transmutation. Nope.
The dungeon is the boss.
As it turns out, the encounters that put the fear to you were there to put the fear into you.
Well, so long.
The enemies are the threat.
So you actually missed out on the most annoying enemy in the stupid place, which are called orcs. They're fairy-type enemies. They usually come in packs of 4, and they have target backline.
Neat.
And I
They
mean,
do about 10 damage a swing.
he's seen what the orcs look like from Dragon Quest Monsters. They're a lot smaller here.
Builders.
Yeah, builders.
Builders.
Excuse me, sorry. That's what
Which has definitely... I know how big those things can be, so...
Yeah,
But
they're a lot
they're
smaller.
actually pixies or fairies or whatever. In the original game, they're called orcs. They're probably called fairies in this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, orcs can be fairies. Just ask Final Fantasy V.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm a little confused here. What do they look like?
What?
The orcs.
I'll
The
find a
quote-unquote
picture.
orcs.
No, just describe it. Do they look like pigs?
No.
Okay.
Do they look-
Those are orcs in later games, which are called orcs.
Yes, okay, that's why I was confused.
Which, yeah, I realized that halfway through. So remember what that kid's sign said over there.
Yeah, he said
Let-
go behind the... Let's talk to the kid again.
There's the graveyard behind the church.
Cemetery during nighttime.
Well, time to go grind a little bit.
Yep.
Is that the cemetery? Oh, that's the cemetery.
There's a cemetery behind the church.
It's not behind the church, though.
It's behind. It's further behind the church.
Like, I guess eventually, if you keep going, it's behind
Yes,
the church.
it is technically
Past this guy's
behind the
bedroom.
cemetery or behind the
Yeah.
church.
Oh, this game needs an auto battle.
Yeah.
Where's my commander mode when
Command?
I
The
think
newbie.
picking up that crossbow for your main character was a very good idea.
It certainly saved you some.
It's mitigating a ton of damage.
Yeah, it
Maybe
saved
please
you
stop trying to cast teleport. Oh my god.
teleport
Thank
alpha.
you. No,
I
that's
think
beta.
no, that's teleport beta. Yeah, you're right.
Alpha is straight line.
Alpha's the straight line. Yeah.
Well, air quotes straight line. It's as straight
You
of a
could
line
bend-
as you want it to be.
That's true.
Yeah.
Which was
Whereas
something young me didn't know.
Right.
Did you get caught at the ice place?
No, I actually never got caught, but I definitely got to parts of the game where I was like, I don't know how to get out. Like, I just gotta keep going. I can't really go back anywhere.
What's the name of that place?
I know what you're talking about,
Where
not Canada.
Jeff's from. Yeah, not Canada. I'm trying to remember what the name of the...
Winters?
Winters, thank you. Yeah, because I remember if you go there as soon as you get access to the teleport spell, you can pick up some really good gear that is usually not available at the point of the game you're at.
Wouldn't you have needed to go there near or around that point anyway to fight boss number 4?
No.
Oh no, it's before then because Jeff comes from there, so he knows where it is.
No,
But you
but-
can't progress further in the story at that point because you don't have a MacGuffin.
But also, I think you take the...
Scott Runner?
You take something there. You don't warp there.
Then it would have to be the Sky Runner.
Maybe.
It's also just kind of fucked up because, like,
There's the outline.
Earthbound's signposting is kind of a mess with regards to the dungeons.
Yes.
I went, like, to Secret Spot 5, and I had never gone to 2 or 3.
Yeah,
Just
well,
skip
that's
them.
how it goes.
Yeah.
I actually did not find 2 until like almost the end of the game.
Is 2 Lilliput steps?
Yeah, it's in the Happy
Yes.
Happy Valley.
I can't remember what 3.
3 is
Giant Step, Lilliput Steps, Lumina Well.
the 3 is the one that's right next to the Saturn Valley.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember what it is.
It's
It's the
Milky
Trillion
Fountain.
Age Sprout.
No, that's the boss, but I think it's the Milky Fountain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Milky
It is
Fountain.
Milky Fountain, yes.
No.
Because number 5 is the carrot.
No. No.
No, 5's the rat.
No.
Of all my brothers, I am the 4th strongest.
No. No. Uh-uh.
Let's see
But
how long
thou
you can keep
must.
this
Yet.
up, folks.
So Dragon Quest Builders is a really good thing in sort of the similar way of Dragon Quest 11, in that you're allowed to say no to everything, but they don't. But thou must you. They just go, "What are you talking about?" Yeah, of course you will.
Yep. But the way they like say, "What are you talking about?" There's a lot of really good ways that they like get around it. And such like one
Yeah.
character will actually hit you a couple times if you do it.
Oh no. So 11 makes you eventually say yes.
Mhm.
Builders just keeps going.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well, Builders,
like
Builders is taking off of the what is it? Oh, the Golden Sun method. Of it doesn't really matter what option you're picking; it's just flavor text at this point.
except in
Super
2.
Mario Galaxy 2 also had that sort of thing where it's just
Oh,
like,
except,
that's right, or yes.
Except in Golden Sun 2, where if you say certain answers to certain things at certain points in the game enough times, at a point in the game, the old shitty man will actually call you out and just be like, "You've been a big shit this entire journey."
Kraden,
Yeah.
fuck that old man. I'm pretty sure anyone who's played Golden Sun can agree with me on that one. I hate that guy.
I mean, yes.
I mean, he's also in the same game as the Wise One, so it's hard to pick who's the bigger shithead.
Unfortunately, I have taste, so I didn't play Golden Sun.
It was an RPG on the early GBA. I was like, yeah, I got to play this game. And then as a kid, I'm like, this game is great. And then I played it later and went, this game is terrible.
Yeah, it's kind of like charming up front, and then you grow up and realize it kind of was held together with toothpicks and snot.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Duct tape and a prayer.
Weird that the team that made Beyond the Beyond couldn't make a good RPG.
So there's a point in Dark Dawn, which is the third one, which is the last one for shocking reasons.
Oh, it turned
There's a point in that game that's actually pretty good, and it's when Kraden isn't around.
Wait, hang on. Golden Sun got more entries than Lufia? No, there was a third Lufia.
There's been like 4 or 5 Lufia games.
Golden Sun had a GBA sequel and then a DS third one.
Yeah.
But like, I would have been legit upset if Lufia, which actually was a good game, got fewer games. Than
Okay,
fucking
how do you say this first thing here?
Dobro Outro?
Is that just good morning?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, oh my god, my brain. From, thank you. Thanks, Chrome. How close am I to the end of this chapter?
Not really.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
We're a ways off.
If you want to get to a good stop point, you're actually pretty close to it.
Okay.
Let's get to the next place.
Iron Lance, though.
I mean, if you can't afford it, let's keep going forward then.
Chain Sickle, though. We could hand...
Chain Sickle's a whole 2 points better. I don't know if it's worth it for her.
Now there's a curse I would never want to inflict.
What?
The DS Lunar game.
No.
Just no.
No.
Could
Check
go
out the next town. See what you get.
You have something you want to say, newbie, about Lunar?
Those games don't hold up.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we've had an object lesson of how many Fridays spent on those games.
Those games, peter out real hard.
They were good at the time, but...
Well, it's in comparison to what?
Mhm.
And now it's one of those...
A lot
could
of
be playing
other
this game.
PlayStation RPGs.
Yeah. And how different it was from a bunch of them really is what kind of drew you in. Also, we're dumb kids at that point.
Yeah.
Grandia
I will agree with
2
people in the
is-
chat. Grandia is still a good game. Not so much on Grandia 2 personally, but Grandia 1's a great game.
I
Well,
fucking
we'll
adore
find out.
Grandia 2's combat system.
That I will agree with.
We will find out if Grandia holds up at some point on this channel, because that is on the docket.
If
You know
play
what?
3, I'm never coming back.
No,
know what
just the
holds up?
original.
Really
Okay.
well? Skies of Arcadia.
That's right, Suikoden 2.
I fucking adore Skies of Arcadia. Suikoden 2 was fucking fantastic, don't get me wrong. The sprite art in Suikoden 2 alone is worth the price of entry. You know, honestly, that one character's combat start animation is worth the price
Oh, the
of
dancer?
entry.
Yeah.
Yes. Her dramatically throwing off her dress.
God,
into-
what was the
I would-
what was the fucking detective's name? I can't remember for the life of me.
Oh, Richmond.
Richmond's fucking animation that he does
Oh, his
every
coin
time you
flip
every
animation.
time you talk to him, where he flips the coin in the air.
I thought you were going to bring up Bob.
would exercise a little bit more caution saying that Suikoden 2 is worth the price of anything in the year of our Lord 2019.
Well, worth
Spoiler.
the price of entry, I said.
Spoilers. Unfortunately, it isn't. If you're trying to get a physical copy of it, nah.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
How
it
much
is one of the
does it
most
cost?
notoriously price gougey.
It would have
physical
gone
copies out
down if we had ever gotten the 2-game dual pack, but we didn't get
Yep.
that.
Yeah, so Suikoden 2 physical copy is like Earthbound numbers.
How
Have
the
you not
fuck
bought
do
scale
I end up...
shields yet? Or any kind of shields?
No, I'm buying those.
Yeah, I was about to say, maybe you should buy those.
How the fuck do I end up with all these games that are apparently just fucking impossible to get your hands on?
Canada.
Canada, I guess, sure. You know what I'm real mad about is I bought the Ark the Lad collection, beat Ark 1, got into Ark 2, and now I can't fucking find it anymore. Also, Wild Arms 1 was a little janky but had the cool action RPG thing. Wild Arms 2 was dragged down by Wild Arms 2's English.
You say drag down.
Okay, look. I will say that I would 100% not have gotten the Rampant Gun references at the time, so it's probably best that they removed them. And also, even at the time, I was confused as to why everybody stopped making sense literally every time Liz and R showed up on screen.
I will bury you with your everything. Your grave will read your everything.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I played enough, enjoy a lot of it, but oh my goodness, the game script turned into gibberish when those two appeared.
You were the most important, valuable person / friend to me.
I'm free of sin, they will respawn.
I think there was also the other line that everyone quotes had just a fucking emote in it.
Yeah, okay, I remain convinced that the localizers, and I mean, as I understand it, this was true. The localizers on a lot of PS1 era games really didn't have good conditions to work with. So, like Final Fantasy Tactics, a lot of the really egregious stuff in Final Fantasy Tactics comes from the fact that it had to be localized in like 6 weeks or something.
Yes.
Ridiculous.
Oh, absolutely. Like, some of these teams are just like, fuck it, let's have fun. We're in hell anyway.
I gesture again at the localization of everyone's favorite game. That's right, baby. Chaos Wars.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh my god.
Chaos
Chaos Wars
might be the worst voice acting I've ever heard.
Chaos
I don't
Wars is
know.
infamous for being like, basically every B tier anime company gets together for a big party. But the most important thing is that the voice acting in Chaos Wars was mandated by, I think it was Sony. They were just saying like, oh,
No,
everything's got to be localized. Everything's got to have voice acting.
It was the company that I think was bringing the game over at the time.
Okay, they mandated voice acting, and so like the CEO and his family got together in the studio one day and just sort of belted out all the lines real quick.
That's incredible.
Yeah, the voice acting in that is amazingly bad.
I don't know. I heard the voice acting in Fire Emblem 9. It was pretty bad.
I will link you
I
a
know,
video.
it's worth. I've heard it. I'm just poking fun.
Okay, I've
Also,
got
a
my
lot of the voice
hand
acting in the first
How
two
do I
Lunar
get
games.
back to
back
Tokyo?
Tokyo. Thank you. I just wanted to fucking complete it. All right, I've got my head wrapped around this whole different dimensions thing.
Okay.
But how do I get back to Tokyo?
So shit is going down with the Tsar in the castle.
Mhm.
Should I go back to like? I think this is a
Yeah.
good stopping point
Yeah.
here.
Or you
Yeah.
can stop, yeah.
Yeah.
You can certainly stop right here. You gotta head back home. Something's wrong.
Meanwhile, at this point, we're just going to keep talking about Jared.
Until next
Stop the
time.
chat. Stop the chat.
Dragon Quest.
Oh, God, no, please don't invoke tension. What are we, back in the 90s?